Yeah, no, honestly, I had all faith and trust in Max, and I was on to the next play, thinking about what do we got to do to move the ball to get a touchdown, to get some points on the board, and really proud of what Max did. He jumped in, didn't skip a beat, moved the ball down the field. It was awesome to see that. We got all the trust in the world in Max, and that showed up on Saturday. It was better to see it in the game. It's one thing to see it in practice, but to do it in the game, I think we know what he's capable of, but I think he proved to his teammates what he's capable of, and he built that trust with them, which is huge moving forward. And like I said, in our mindset at that point, we were running our offense. It didn't matter who the quarterback was at that point. We needed to move the ball and score, and Max did a phenomenal job. I didn't talk to him right after that drive. I was kind of pumping him up through the helmet going into it, just telling him that I believe in him and he's ready to go. But you know, just the way those things work within the game, it was just kind of like, okay, what's Mad Dog's status? Let's keep it moving. But extremely proud of him. I think, again, it goes back to maximizing their skill sets, figuring out how we can get them involved, how we can utilize what they do best. That's still the primary thought. Coach Montgomery does such a good job with those guys throughout the week, getting them prepared, but also having a plan going into the game as far as what it looks like. That is always flexible, depending on, obviously, health, depending on how they're playing, depending on who's got the hot hand. Cy is still a very physical runner. He still brings a lot of value in a lot of areas. I mean, Dylan is proving that he can do a lot of everything and then has the big play ability. And I think I've really appreciated Malik's growth these first 3 games. He's gotten better and better and better, and I think we know what he provides out in space as a returner, catching the football. So there's a lot of things there, and it's really just my job to make sure those guys are getting those opportunities to show what they're capable of. It's all about balance. Honestly, that's the goal of our offense, is to be balanced, and we knew we had to improve in a lot of areas after week 1, and a big part of that was just our mentality and our physicality, and I think we are improving in those areas, and that showed up last game. But it's all about being consistent. When we're at our best, to your point, we're balanced, so the yardage should be right on par. And when our whole unit is playing with the right mentality, we can establish the run, and then we have a lot of things built off that. That's when we're at our best. But it's a new week, and it's a new challenge, and the goal is to stay consistent. I think it provides such a huge advantage to our offense when you got multiple tight ends that are willing to block. And it's something that we got to continue to evolve with, get better with. At the end of the day, we want to get multiple guys involved. That's kind of the philosophy and what we're looking for. We want a lot of different receivers to get touches. We want a lot of different tight ends to get the ball. So again, when we're operating like we should as an offense, you're going to see a lot of guys get the ball, but Latrell deserves all those opportunities just because of the leader he is for our offense, for our team. Yeah, the pre-snap penalties are still a problem for us. It's something that we have to fix. I have to fix. It's my responsibility. And then there's a lot of penalties that showed up in the game that happened within the play that are not a lack of effort, but a fundamental or a technique thing that we have been focusing on, that we're going to continue to focus on and to clean those up. But the pre-snap ones we have to eliminate. It's just responding to moving on to the next play, being able to respond. Obviously, we can't live in that world. You don't want to be doing that every game. We try to prepare for those moments. If they do come up, we're ready for them, but we got to clean up the penalties because we don't want to be in those long situations anymore. But I think it says a lot about the group and their ability to move on to the next play and attack it as it's coming and not dwelling on what just happened. I don't relate to Cage. No, I never did that. I could never run like that or block in space or any of those things. So no, I'm just always excited to see an O lineman play at a high level because I just love watching good football. And so to see him continue to get better and grow and then make those plays in those situations, I mean, that's just what you want to see as a coach. Yeah, and that's really the mentality of an O lineman. It's no news is good news, right? You don't want to be talked about. If you are, it's usually in a negative way because that's the reality of the position. So he's a great example of kind of what we talked about before, the fundamentals and technique. And when you do those things consistently, you can play clean, but still do it with the mentality. I think the whole room's pretty close. That's what makes it pretty special. It's a tight-knit group, whether, you know, Louder, who's a senior, or if it's a freshman that just came in, they're all really close, and that's kind of just their personalities. You know, there's low ego, and they're fun to be around. And yeah, Matt and Matt have gotten close by being roommates on the road, by being together, by being in the trenches so much.